Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm here today with a quick tutorial of rosettes and flowers. I just did a back to basics swap and some of my participants asked if I could do a tutorial because they struggled a little bit and just kind of wanted to see how I do it. Yes, I have a million videos on flowers and rosettes. I think I do one every year people request. So we'll do it again. I don't mind. Alright, so for your rosette, you're going to need your hot glue gun, your silicone mat. I like to use 3/4 inch circles on mine. And you're going to need a strip of paper 1 inch by 12 or 1 inch by 11, depending on if you're using cardstock or designer paper. For the flowers, you're going to need your cardstock and any type of flower punch you have. The 3 flower punches I'm going to use are this one is this flower here. Yes, it's wet. It'll dry by the end of this video. I use the Podge Glitter, and the more you put on there, the more glitter you're going to see. So I used that flower, goes with this punch. This flower goes with my other flower punch, but oh, here it is. It goes with this, and the purple flower goes with this punch here. Okay, I typically like to use 5 or 6 petal flowers. Actually, I think this is the only 6 petal flower I use. All the other ones are 5 petals. It's really your preference. Alright, let's do our rosettes first because my hot glue is getting too hot. So, again, you're going to need a strip that is 1 inch by 11 or 12. That extra inch, honestly, it doesn't matter. It's just whatever paper you're using. I'm too lazy to cut a 12 inch down to 11 inches, so to be honest. Alright, so here we go. Now you're going to take your scoreboard. You know what? I'm going to move this whole thing out of my way. Okay. You're going to need your scoreboard, and you're going to score it every 1/4 of an inch. Let me pull this up just a little bit. Alright. Every 1/4 inch. So you're going to do it at 1/4, half, 3/4, 1, all the way down, 1/4, half, 3, 1, 1/4, half, 3/4, 1. So just go all the way down your strip of paper. Some people do 1/2 inch. It just makes for a fluffier rosette. I like mine a little flatter for what I'm using it for. I'm going to make them a little bit flatter. I'll show you a 1/2 inch one in just a second. Alright, so we're almost done. And 1/4. Okay. So that's good. Now a fluffier one looks like, let me see if I have one in here. Sheeted quarters. I'm going through all these swaps we just did. I know somebody did a 1/2 inch. Here we go. Alright, so for this one, she did 1/2 inch gussets. So it just makes it thicker. And just, I mean, it's slightly smaller, but so it's really up to you how thick you want your rosettes to be. So look at the profiles. Okay. For this project, I need a thinner one, so I just did 1/4 inches. Now all you're going to do is actually, you know what, first what we're going to do is cut off the very last 1/4 of an inch. And now we're going to accordion fold it, or concertina fold it, you know, mountain and valley it all the way down. Yeah, I'm doing these in real time just so you can see. You guys can fast forward if you want. See how easy it's just easily popping in. Just make sure you score hard enough when you're making your score lines. Alright, now when I close mine, I don't typically like to use hot glue to close it, only because if you reheat that hot glue on your seam, it's going to come apart. And I always do that by accident. So, alright, so all I'm doing is making these just a little bit tighter by grouping a whole bunch of them and just squeezing them. Okay, so on your ends, you should have your tab that is a mountain, and then you have a tab that is a valley. Okay, and you're just going to glue them together. This is where I was talking about, where I use just regular wet glue, or you can use score tape. And you're just going to place it on top. For some reason that's miscut. That's okay. You won't notice it. Just make sure that your seam is semi-matching. Wow, that's... Huh. I used a scrap. When I just cut this, it had some scrap on it, so that's probably why. It don't matter though. Alright, so again, I'm just going to kind of tighten up these pleats, just so it's easier to smush it down. Alright, let's pull in our mat. Actually, first, before we pull in our mat, let's go ahead and kind of train these. So all I did was just apply pressure directly to the middles and squish it in. That's it. So your thumb and forefinger, push it in. It should go towards the middle. Okay. I like to do that on my regular mat first to kind of train it, because on the silicone mat, see how it gives resistance. So, alright, so what we're going to do is put some glue, just a little, oh, that's probably way too much, but that's okay. Now, I put my ring over and center. Ooh, my hot glue gun is too hot. It is literally smoking. And just kind of push it up. Obviously, you do not want to touch that glue unless you have on a hot glue gun finger thing, or you can fold your mat over and just hold it like this. Oops, it's not ready yet. Okay. What I like to do is when that glue pops up, I like to put a circle on it. That's what I do. Sometimes I use my mat if I know I'm going to decorate these, but if you're just going to make a whole bunch just to decorate later, put your circles on. It just gives you a nicer platform to put your decoration on. And if you forget, or you're going to gift them, see how they look finished. And then once it's most of the way dry, well, you probably should wait till it's all the way dry, but I don't. And you're just going to cover up your big glue mess with a pretty circle. That's all. And again, if you're going to, presentation is everything, right? So just kind of clean up your glue. That's all you got to do. Just clean up your glue. It'll peel off. There we go. Just so it looks a little bit nicer. Like, you know, I understand it's the back, but, you know, be a little nicer. Okay, so that's it with your rosettes. They are very easy to make if you follow that. You can also cut them from your cutting machines, but not everyone has it. So, yeah, let's do flowers. Okay, I just did a rosette from start to finish because I needed 3 of them. And I time myself, and it's just under 4 minutes. And so they're super quick and easy when you're not doing a tutorial to do them. And this one is smaller than the other ones because I was using a scrap piece of paper, but I wanted them all to match. And as you can see, I did not have 11 inches or 12 inches. This is actually 9 inches. And so this one is 1 by 9. So it's just slightly smaller than the rest of them. What I'm using it for is not going to be that big of a deal. So this is 1 by 12. This is 1 by 11. And this is 1 by 9. So you could even just keep making them smaller and make a little tree, a little stacked tree if you want. But like I said, it doesn't really matter. All right. Let's move on to flowers. And so, see, they're drying nicely. And again, the more Mod Podge you put on there, I don't even know. I did this tutorial twice because I accidentally deleted the video. And then my niece was screaming on one of them, and I didn't want to get, you know, fined or anything. So I don't know if I told you, we've got to get 3 punches for these ones. Use Mod Podge Glitter. Here it is. Mod Podge Glitter, I got this back in 2018. And it did cost me $8.96, which is a little expensive. Normal price was $11.99. But from 2018, it's now 2022. And I still have about, it's just about here left. So I would say that was worth the money. I use it a lot. And I just put it on with like a toothbrush. I got a soft toothbrush from Dollar Tree. Or you can use your spongy things. These ones tend to hold a lot of that glue. The toothbrush doesn't, so I just use a toothbrush. It's upstairs drying. Or you can put it on with the little makeup brush thing, the little spatula thing, you know, whatever you want. Alright, so let's make our flowers. Well, first we'll do this one since I already have the purple right here. So this is going to be like, I think this was a daisy. Mine's super old and a little rickety, so we're going to go ahead and punch out 3 layers. I'm going to do 6 because I need 2 more flowers. This one actually is 4 layers, but yeah, let's do 4 layers. So you're going to need 4 layers for each flower. Okay, so I went ahead, oh, knocked the camera all around. I went ahead and cut out all the pieces I need. I need 2 more flowers, so I did 8 pieces. Go ahead and cut out 4 pieces of your other flower, which would be this one. This is a 6 petal flower. And then you're going to cut out 4 pieces of this flower. This is a 5 petal flower. So I typically work with 5 or 6 petal flowers. That's just what I have, what I like. Okay. So we're going to work on the purple one. Alright. Oh, and I do need a little piece of black. You're going to need just a scrap of black for your stamen. So we'll work with that in a minute. Alright, take your bone folder. And again, I'm doing 2 flowers. So take your bone folder and you're just curling the edges. See how my thumb? Basically, you're just breaking down your fibers. Obviously, the thicker the cardstock, the more you're going to have to put pressure into it to make it curl. This is Stampin' Up! Cardstock, so it's a true 65 pound. So you got to, you know, kind of manipulate it. Alright, so just do that to all your flowers. Okay, so all my petals are curled for both of my flowers. Now I'm just going to kind of just to curl them a little bit more. That's all. Okay. So now what you need to do is just glue the middle and put your next flower inside, offset your petals. You can use a glue dot if you want to. I like the glue, but I've used glue dots in the past. Glue your next one. Again, offset the petals. And your final one. So for the final one, I kind of like that a little bit more curled than the rest of them. And then you're just going to, again, stack it, offset the petals. If you forget to offset the petals, that's not a huge deal. Don't throw it away. It'll still look nice. You just have to rearrange it a little bit. Alright, there we go. Let that glue dry for a second. Okay, while that's drying, we're going to take our scrap piece of black paper. It doesn't really matter how long this is. This just happens to be 2.5 inches. And I'm just going to make it, I don't know, I'm just going to eyeball it. This is probably too long. But I'm starting off with 2.5 by 1. And what I'm going to do is just cut little slits almost to the top. You don't want to go to the top, but mine's about 1/8 of an inch from the top. Sometimes I score it, but today I don't particularly care, to be precise. If you have those male shredding scissors that do this for you, like they have 4 blades, so much easier. You're going to use your score tape or your glue. I just don't like to be messy. So I'm using score tape. And I'm just going to put score tape on the top. You know, it might have been easier to do score tape on the top and then cut my little thing so I know where not to cut. Yeah, that might be a good tip, because I need 2 of them. They're probably going to be too long, but oh yeah, that's so much easier. Yeah, put your score tape first. My little things are about a little more than 1/8 of an inch wide. I don't know, just however thin you want them, not too thin. Or if you want them super thin, you can have them super thin. Just kind of use your bone folder to curl it on that score tape. This is also how you make tassels. So you get a twofer. Learning how to make stamen and tassels at the same time. Now, depending on how thick you want your stamen, you're going to either roll it tight or roll it loose. To be honest, I just roll it, and however it comes out, it comes out. Some people have an exact measurement for this, but I just get it rolled. Alright. So there's one, and because I have to do 2, I can show you again. Peel your tape. To kind of get started is a little weird. I just fold over the last one and then roll it in. So at first it's not even a circle, it's like a weird oval type thing. And then as you go along, see how I pinch it to make it circular? I don't know if that's a technical thing or, you know, whatever. Alright, so this is going to definitely be too long. So all you have to do is cut it. Which I'm going to cut it like this over the trash can. Well, my recycle bin. Alright, and that's perfect. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just fan it out, separate these layers a little bit, bend some of them different ways. Just to kind of make it look full. To be honest, I usually don't put this much attention to it. I just kind of squish them in, bend them, pinch them, however it goes. And then you're just going to put a generous amount of glue and stick this on top. I guess you could use your hot glue. It's just hot glue shows if you're not exact. And the art glue I use Barely Arts does not show. Okay, so there's that. This one, same thing, is going to be too tall. So maybe by 3/4 of an inch, half an inch. I don't know. I like to make it longer than what I need so that way you can cut it off, because obviously you can cut it off, you can't add. So that's what I do. Just there we go, and stick it in the middle. This one I didn't curl as much so you could kind of see what it looks like, and then you can always curl around it to your desired look. Oops. There we go. I like that better. That's it. And then you put your Mod Podge Glitter on the edges if you want, or you know, whatever you want on your edges. See how that's glittery. Okay. Obviously, if you want a more realistic flower, you're going to use, not going to use glitter, but alright, let's make this one. This one, I have a gold brad in the middle because I wanted that showing. So we're going to go ahead and use our gold brads. And these are just your run-of-the-mill school supply brads. I got them from Walmart. Get them from Dollar Tree, wherever. Alright, these ones you do need some water to kind of help you. It's not a mandatory ingredient, but it'll definitely help you. These are my, what I call trash flowers, because 1, 2, 3, gosh darn it, I don't know what I did with the other one. Alright, we'll do these 4 and then I'll cut my other one out in a second. Alright, so you're going to take a water bottle or a spritzer or whatever you have, it just plain water, tap water, and you're just going to very lightly wet them, and you're going to ball it up like trash. So the thicker your paper, the harder this part's going to be and give you arthritis. Or not give you arthritis, but if you have arthritis, it's going to make it flare up. The water just kind of helps it. You don't want to oversaturate your paper with a lot of water. If you get them super wet, then you want to let them dry when they're balled up. So just little drips. Those little tube little spritzers I see people have, that would probably be better because it's like a light mist. But I do have them. I just don't know where they are. Or if you have shimmer mist, you can actually use that instead of water, but you gotta work fast because the alcohol dries faster. Okay, so we're gonna let those dry for a second while I punch out my other one. Okay, then I did enough for 2 flowers. I did 8 little bundles, and so all you're gonna do is open them up. Again, if your paper was super wet, let it dry out a little bit. It's okay if it's slightly damp. You don't want it wet. Sometimes you get a little crazy with the spray bottle, especially if you're watching TV. You know, those intense moments on Grays. You don't pay attention to what you're doing. So, alright, so we're going to open these all back up. If your flower tears, it's fine. Just put a little bit of wet glue on the tear, hold it for a second, and you're good to go. I've torn off the entire petal because the paper was too wet, and you put that wet glue and the fibers, I don't know the verb for what I'm looking for. They fiber back up. They adhere back together. Alright, so you're going to go ahead and layer your flower, offset your petals. The one that's the most crinkly, my new verb, the crinkliest, or adjective I should say, goes on top. That's how I like it. Now you're going to use your hole punch to punch a hole in the middle. Mine is set right now for a specific project, and so I don't want to use it because I don't want to have to change that setting. So I'm just going to use a pokey tool thing and just go through all 4 layers. And, you know, you just need a hole to put that brad through. And you're going to go ahead and put your brad through. If you don't want the brad to show, use a staple. And on the next flower, we're going to use staples. Now what you're going to do is separate the top layer. So you see my thumb and my forefinger. And we're just going to cover up that brad. You're going to do your next layer and just smush it all together again. And you're going to do your next layer. And just try to make it as circular as possible. If you do it square, your flower looks a little square. See how mine's kind of round? It's like a square oval. And then all you're going to do is take your thumb, hold it in the, use your left thumb to hold it in the middle, take your right thumb and fan it out to how the desired look you want. So you can completely cover that brad, or if you want a piece of it showing, you can, where's my center? Completely open this up and have that center showing. I just kind of want mine covered up. I kind of let mine tell me what it wants to do. This one wants to be covered, so that one's going to be covered. Okay? Alright. Again, open your petals, stack them together, put your hole in the center. So these flowers take me about, from start to finish, from the beginning, like punching out everything, they take me about 5 minutes. Because I love making these and I make them all the time. So I'm pretty fast with these. Again, put your brad, and go for it. Now the next paper flower we're going to use just your run-of-the-mill stapler, like your office desk stapler. You can use your Tim Holtz if you want. That one's just kind of small, so the more layers you have, it's kind of hard, but I just use a regular stapler. Or you can use a brad. Okay. Alright, so what you're going to do is take your petal, your 6-petal flower, punch it out 4 times again. You see, that one wanted to show the gold, so there you go. Punch it out, and then you're going to do the same thing. You're going to wet it slightly, crumple it, let it dry. I already did my other ones. So these are why they're called trash flowers, because you just ball it up like trash. Open up your petals. It's the only thing I don't like about working with the darker color paper, because it stains your hands, and you guys know I do not enjoy that on my hands. Okay, your desk staple you borrowed from work, or your dad's desk, you know, 8 years ago. Alright, again, you're just going to offset these petals. The one that has the most crinkles are going to go on top, the crinkly guy. Take your staple, put it in the center as best as you can, staple it down, same process. Go up on that staple, try to make it as circular as you can, which the staple is a little harder because it's obviously not a circle like the brad, but it's okay. The more you manipulate the paper, the easier it is. So just kind of keep pushing those layers together, and your last one, like so, around the staple. And again, left thumb in the middle, right thumb pulling out. one was a little bit wetter than what I like, but it's okay. There you go. So they kind of look like carnations using this punch. You can use any punch. You can draw a flower. You know, just anything with 6 petals. Just do 6 ovals and kind of, you know, kind of make it look like a flower. You can print a flower from Google, cut it out. You just need this general shape. Actually, you know what? You don't even need this general shape. You can do these same flowers with your scallop circles. Those definitely look like carnations. So you can use that. You can use your circle punches or dies. They just won't have the fancy edge. So anything just kind of round it. That's all you really need. And you do the same process with a scallop circle or with a plain circle. You're just going to punch out 4 layers, let them ball them up, flatten them out, layer them. Obviously your circle doesn't have an offset, so you're just going to layer it, stack them on top of each other, staple it or brad, and do each layer around the staple or brad and fan it out. Same exact process with just a type of round-ish thing. Yeah, so that's it. That's how I do my flowers and how I do my rosettes. I hope that helps you guys. I do have, like I said, I have other videos that I do different punches, different flowers, so you can look back on those, but these are my go-to. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.